Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna finish my Kris Jenner readings. I had to take a break to charge the iPad and do some private client readings. So this also continues in the thread of our giveaway that we are doing. I'm just picking random people to win 10 and 15 minute free readings throughout the videos that I am posting this week. And then the big giveaway is on its own dedicated video that is titled the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So that one has special instructions. These ones just comment below and make sure that you do respond if I pick you, because I had some issues with that on Instagram when I did some giveaways. People didn't respond, and then I tried to chase them down and it was a mess. So we're not doing that. So anyways, guys, before we start, I was just going through things. I have a couple decks that I don't ever use that I didn't know, like, if anybody wanted a deck, like, you guys are welcome to them. I'm going to go to the post office. I don't know if I'll make it next week, but for sure the week after I will, because I'm trying to let them kind of, like, figure everything out after the holidays mess kind of cleared up before I start sticking anything in the mail myself. But I can ship these out to you guys before the end of the month. The Illuminated Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. It comes in this box. I've literally, like, really never used this, you guys. See, it's a gorgeous box, and it has the book in it. And then the cards are gorgeous. The problem is that I have such little hands that these are so big that they're hard for me to shuffle. But I really do, like, I know it doesn't seem like it on camera, but my hands are very little. So that's why, like, when you guys see I use my travel size Rider weight deck and it looks like a normal size deck in my hand, because it's really hard for me to shuffle big cards. Like, I end up getting decks. People give me decks and I can't ever use them because I can't shuffle them correctly. So that was the problem with this. So if anybody has normal size hands and you have Donald Trump baby hands like me and you wanted the Illuminated Tarot, please let me know in the comments. This one, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not the greatest deck. I was disappointed in it because it's a Moonology Oracle cards. They're gorgeous, but I bought them with the intent of having Oracle cards that I could do readings with. The problem with this is that I think they would be great for personal use, but the cardstock isn't, like, thick enough or laminated enough that it could withstand being used over and over for clients, readings on YouTube, whatever. And since I'm not really a person that, like, pulls my own cards on a daily basis, it's kind of just sitting there, and I'd rather that if somebody, like, really wanted these and, you know, was gonna make use out of them, that they would have them instead of me, and they're just sitting here, you know, collecting dust. So I will, you know, you guys let me know if you want one of these. I'm just gonna pick whoever comments first. I'll send these to 2 people, so let me know, do you want the Illuminated Tarot or the Moon deck? And leave your email address so I can contact you to get your shipping info, and I'll send it out before the end of January. So just wanted to get that out of the way, because if you guys see, if you needed a candle lit, I lit all the white candles that I had left for everybody after I picked up on such kind of stressed out energy this morning. So we're gonna take a look at Kris Jenner. I have not used this yet. I kept planning to, and then I stuck it in my desk and I forgot, because I have a jewelry box on top of my desk that I keep my tarot cards that I use all the time in, and I have crystals in there, and then I also, like, put other stuff in there to keep it in the right energy. So I forgot that I even had this, and I haven't been using it. It is the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. I was on the waiting list for so long to get this, so they finally, I've had it for a month, 2 months now, I can't even remember. Again, this is one of those decks that's kind of flimsy. It's not as bad as the Moonology cards, but it's almost, so not something that I'll be using on a daily basis. But I just felt like the energy of the Nightmare Before Christmas fits Kris Jenner and her nightmare energy. So we're going to take a deeper dive into her. We're going to see What is her relationship, you know, like with each of her kids? How do they really interact with each other? Because, you know, I mean, we've kind of seen that Kris Jenner really plays favorites with her kids. And so, obviously, Kourtney had a big issue with it on the show a while back. I'm sure Khloe has tons of issues with her mom. So, we're going to look at, I want to see the relationship between her and Kylie first. So, Spirit, how is Kris and Kylie's relationship? Spirit, how is Kris Jenner and Kylie's relationship? Thank you, Spirit, for joining us. Answering any questions that we have in regards to Kris and Kylie Jenner, the relationship is like, anything involving Kris Jenner whatsoever going forwards. Thank you, Spirit. And I will do a completely separate reading on Kanye coming up. It's just, he's a lot of chaotic energy because he's got so much going on, and he's also kind of in a spiritual war right now. So, I want to do that completely separate, but I have somebody else that I really want to look at tonight that I think you guys are going to love, because I have not seen any readings on this person. So we'll look at that next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that one is maybe a medium reading. So we're going to look at some things that people have had suspicions about. And so that's gonna be a little heavy. So I don't know. It's like we have to choose between that and Kanye. I want to see if any of you, let's do this. If anybody can guess who I'm talking about that I want to do a reading on later, that I said it's gonna be a little like heavy because it might or might not be a medium reading. Whoever guesses that right, I'm going to give you a free 15-minute reading on top of the other ones that I'm giving away. So whoever guesses that right first, the first comment, and I have my notifications on, I'm going to pick you to be the winner of a free 15-minute reading. Okay, so this is a little interesting. I mean, I think this is just such fitting energy for Kris Jenner because you guys, this is Nightmare Before Christmas, so obviously different cards, you know, are gonna mean different things. Well, I mean, they'll have different names, but it has the same meaning. Queen of Potions. I just thought that was so funny that this is the energy that she shows up as. And here is Kylie as the Queen of Presents. It's basically, you guys, like, with this 10 of Potions, her relationship with Kylie is so reciprocal. It's like, oh, you are my favorite right now because you make me the most money. You're doing the biggest things. You have the most attention on you. But it's like with this Page of Candles energy, like basically what Spirit is saying is it's, you know, again, very reciprocal. That goes out, this little candle's getting blown right out, and Kylie ain't the favorite anymore. And then all of a sudden we're going to see her all up Kendall's butt or whoever. So it's not out of love because there's no cards here representing like love and feelings. Only Kylie was showing up as like having some sort of emotional connection in this situation. It was simply all about like, what are you doing for me? Like, what do you know, what do you bring to the table over here? That's where I'm drawn to. God, what an awful mom. She was really mean to Kylie growing up, you guys. we have this 4 of needles, page of needles, 10 of needles, and then the strength card as far as like the actual like energy of what their connection has been going forwards. So there was a lot of picking at Kylie that we didn't see. Like, I know Kylie has said stuff like, oh, my lips were my own insecurity or whatever. Who do you think gave her that insecurity? Who do you think sat there and told her, hey, you know what? You would look really great if we just like went to the doctor real quick and they put a needle in your lip and they just pumped it up a little bit. Like, it just make everything look good. Oh, and while we're there, you know, let's get a little like Botox on this eyebrow so it lifts up a little more. And Kylie, you know, like, Kim can take you to the doctor with her next time. There was a lot of that going on. I know we've heard stories about that happening, like Khloe overhearing her mom telling her friends like Khloe's gonna need a nose job when she grows up and stuff like that. My God, she did the same thing to Kylie. And I think that's why Kylie and Khloe have such a bond, not only because Khloe kind of took care of them, but I also feel it's this energy of you went through it too. You know, you got that side of mom too, so you get me. Like, there's just that there. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically talking about as long as Kylie's bringing in the most money, she'll have the most attention from Kris. So that's sort of how she feels about it. And that's, Kylie kind of feels like she has to do this, you guys. That's sad. Like, it's sort of like Kylie feeling like she tries so hard to get things at times because it's like, oh, my mom will love me for another week. Like, if I sign a brand deal and I, like, make $10 million, then my mom's going to get her cut. Like, she's going to be nice to me for another month because, like, she made $1 million off of me again. You know, like, that kind of stuff. Okay, Spirit, please tell us, what is Kris Jenner's relationship with Robert Kardashian Jr.? What exactly is the dynamic there? Actually, this one's going to be more emotional, so they want me to use these cards. That's an easy tarot tip, too, for you guys, because I know, like, somebody asked me for tarot tips before. I dedicate my decks to different things. So this is about, my Rider-Waite is about, like, the actual, like, actions or logical things, like, when it comes to financial situations. Tarot of Dreams is emotional. And then I just picked the Nightmare Before Christmas. I haven't really set an intention on that. Like, I was just kind of like, like that one. Because I knew, like, after I unboxed it that I wasn't going to be using it all that much. And that it would probably only get trotted out every once in a while for a video. Because anything more than that, I think those cards are literally going to just, like, fall apart. So dear people who make tarot cards, whoever makes Cyril Marchetti's cards knows what they're doing. Please go ask him, because I've had these cards for literally 7 years now and use them on almost daily basis in one way or another, and they're not bent up, they're not torn up, nothing. Same thing with my Rider-Waite decks. I usually just end up, well, a few of them have gotten lost because they got burned. And I had to replace them because there was a sage or candle accident or something along the way, or somebody else burned them. That's why he's an ex and not my husband. Just kidding. But, yeah, there's, I've had Rider-Waite decks that have lasted me a good 10 years. I still have my original Rider-Waite deck, and it's still going. I just don't, I kind of retired it. So, alrighty. Well, damn. Now I understand why they wanted me to. And you know, the thing is, we have the Ace of Coins, the Palace of Coins, the Nine of Cups, the Judgment card, and the King of Swords. So, Rob really thinks that, just like Kylie, for him to really truly have his mom's love and affection and attention, that like it is tied to success. If I'm bringing in the bacon, if I'm bringing in stuff, if I'm bringing in attention, then my mom loves me. But if I'm not doing those things, then I don't get that in return from her. And so with this King of Swords energy, it's just basically talking about how he, you know, felt like because he was going through a hard time and he wasn't receiving the love and support that he wanted from his mom, because obviously the sisters were the big stars and getting all the love and attention. It was like King of Swords energy, and I'm gonna go like distance myself from everybody, because air signs are great at that. Like, we are great at going and being the hermit when we need to, and just hanging around and being alone and by ourselves so that we can get through our tough moments, you know. And so that air energy is representing, in this sense, not somebody who's like, I'm gonna be mean and fight with everybody, but more so like, I'm just gonna go away and hide. Because with the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Strength card, that's basically what he was doing. He's coming out now because he feels like he's giving his mom something to be proud of. I've lost weight. I have these other companies that are starting to do good. People are starting to pay attention to me again. But the Two of Wands and the Ten of Wands, he's never going to feel like he measures up enough for his mom's love. Can't win for losing when it comes to her. Like, he always feels like he's going to get the short end of the stick and feel like something's missing because he doesn't have a father figure to stand there and be like, you are enough, it's okay. And there's times, like what Spirit's saying, like, Kris alternates between being very dismissive of Rob, or like, oh, just go get liposuction and I'll take all your problems away. Because she does think surgery and going to the doctor is like a solution for most people's problems. But then when she starts to sort of feel bad, like, oh, Rob seriously does have like depression issues, then she overcompensates by babying the crap out of him. Like, there's no in between with her when it comes to him. Either I'm completely enabling you, babying the crap out of you, doing everything for you to make up for the fact that the last 6 months I've been a complete asshole to you. It's like that kind of stuff, which makes sense because, I mean, it's just, I've noticed that mothers who are Scorpios sometimes try to mold their children into what they think they should be instead of allowing them to be who they really are. And that usually comes from their own issues with their own mothers and fathers, you know. So it's like, oh, I didn't feel like I was the kid my parents wanted me to be. So they try to make their kid be the kid that they thought their parents wanted them to be. And it's just like a cycle. And that definitely happens, where they'll be really hard and really mean on their kids. And then all of a sudden, it's like the guilt hits or whatever hits, or you acted enough like what they wanted you to act like. And then all of a sudden, they're really nice to you for like a month. And then you start slipping back into that, okay, well, now you're not really that kid that I care so much about right now. And not all Scorpios, you guys. I'm just saying, I've noticed that. I'm not an astrologer. I just notice patterns. But that's an unbalanced person, obviously, because we all have our good and our bad and our signs, and depending on what energy we're in, we can lean into one or the other, right? So, Spirit, can you please tell me, what is Kris Jenner's relationship with Kourtney like? Thank you, Spirit, for answering. I feel like we have to leave Khloe for last, because that one's probably going to be the most depressing. Put that everywhere. Okay, so time hates her mom's guts, you guys. Even though on the show it was talking about, you know, her going to therapy, and then they made this big old deal about her talking to her mom about stuff. Kourtney still to this day, you guys, blames and resents her mom for cheating on their dad. So, you know, this is talking about the reason why, you know, her mom stepping out of the marriage. There's this judgment card over the King of Coins with the Hermit and the Hangman and the Knight of Coins. She thinks that her mom literally like only was with her dad for the money, the financial gain, and that she got all she could out of him and didn't appreciate it. Like, she feels like her mom never loved her dad and just used him, is what Spirit is saying. And I mean, the underlying energy in here is this Four of Swords, Three of Cups, and Seven of Swords. Kourtney really wants to separate herself from her mom because she doesn't feel like it's healthy for her to be around her mom so much. So it's not that she's like, oh, I don't want to have a relationship with you, but it's like there's so much resentment over what you did to us that it's better for me to leave you alone rather than constantly be mad at you and blowing up at you. So it's like, does she go to the family vacations and holiday dinners? Yes. Does she want to go be like, I want to be like at my mom's ass every day and hang out with her like we're best friends the way Kim used to? No way. I also find it interesting that Kris Jenner's energy came up as the Queen of Wands in this because she sees her as, you know, manipulative. It's like you are literally the definition of a woman who will do anything motivated by money. She doesn't agree with the bad stuff that Kris does either, you guys. And you know what I mean with that, because we have this Palace of Swords and Six of Swords. She kind of sees her mom as evil. And with the Two of Coins and the Six of Cups, Kourtney is definitely worried about the impact of what it's going to do to her kids going forward. Is Kourtney like all of a sudden religious? I kind of feel like Kourtney's trying to separate herself and like protect herself. Like, I don't want God to be mad at me because of the stuff you do. Like, leave me out of it. I gotta go like get myself right with God so he protects me so that the stuff that you guys do doesn't come back at me. I don't want that. Like, I honestly feel like that was the beginning of Kourtney's wanting to separate herself from everything. I don't think it's that Kourtney's lazy, and I don't think that it's that Kourtney doesn't, you know, didn't want to do the show with her sisters because she was over it or bored. I literally think Kourtney had a scare that made her really want to like get away from all of that. And I know how she said stuff like she wants to move away to like the mountains and things like that. It's because she literally wants to get away from that Hollywood stuff. Okay, Spirit, how is Kris Jenner's relationship with Kendall? And I'm going to ask the down and dirty questions, guys, as much as I can. Just know that we're going to have to use a little bit of metaphors. You're going to have to pay attention to my face and not really just only listen to the next video. We will try to answer in as tactfully of a way as we can, because even though I haven't pulled cards on it, I'm just saying as a psychic, I always pick up that energy and I always know that what's going on with that. And so I don't want to... I mean, I know stuff is going to come up. So I'm just warning you guys ahead. There's going to be a part 3 too, because this is already 24 minutes. So we're going to just ask about Kendall, and then we'll come back in the next video and talk about the rest of everybody and then dig into the other stuff. Kendall also has issues with her mom from growing up. Kris was really hard on her. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Kris was like, don't eat that, Kendall. Like, you're trying to save your figure for modeling. Like, that kind of stuff. Kendall also has this energy. We have the Moon, the Palace of Cups, and the King of Swords. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendall honestly ends up moving to another state and completely away from California and away from them. Like, I could actually see Kendall being like, Kourtney, you want to move to Montana? Let's go move to Montana together and get away from everybody. Like, she's just not into it. She's not into it. It's like she does have things she needs to heal from her past with her mom because they didn't always have the best relationship. And it's not just the typical, oh, you can't wear those jeans, you know, out or whatever kind of stuff. But it is deeper that she was hard on her too. Not so much as she was on Kylie and Khloe though. She knows that her mom sees her as like a money bag. She's very aware of her mom's energy. Kendall also would like to save her soul. Kendall gets married, it's over. She's out of there. Not that she's going to cut the family off and never talk to them. I really mean like Kendall would literally be like, time to go. I need to protect myself and my future children from the stuff you guys do. Time to go. Get out of here. But she's also just, I mean, we've seen that too. Kendall's more private. Like, she just does really... I mean, and it's funny because you'd think that, oh, she's the high fashion model and that she'd be the high maintenance one and doing all this stuff. Kendall's like, let me wash my face, tie my hair back, and go ride a horse and ignore everybody. You know, I'll show up when I want to. Like, that's Kendall. And I also feel like Kendall just sort of, like, chooses not to care about a lot of stuff because it's like, I'll eat salad with you and talk about what happened with Jordan 3 years ago because it's finally gonna air. And then it's like, I'm gonna go, it was like literally like she's sitting there with her salad. Haley, I'll be there in an hour. I just have to pretend like I give a crap about some old drama real quick for filming. Like, she's literally just so tuned out and she's got her own life. So, all right, guys, if you wanted either of those decks, like I said, first person to say they wanted the Moon deck will get it. First person who wants the Illuminated Tarot will get it. And the first person who guesses who I was talking about earlier gets a free 15-minute reading. So, good luck. Love you all. See you in a minute with part 3.